they don't have their blitzes in. Well, now they do. So I know it's coming. Like it gets better as we go, and you learn more about the quarterback and how he can handle himself, right? So I'm excited. It's going to be this group's been fun, and we're starting to get the whole gamut of Phil Parker, which is going to be great for us to figure out which guy will be the first one to march out there, on that first Saturday.
How do you set, or what are the differences between Hank and Jeremy in terms of their styles of play?
Well, I mean, hopefully structurally and fundamentally they're similar. Hopefully they're taking what they need to take, and obviously their body types are different. One's super tall, a little bit more over the top. One's a little bit shorter, a little bit more. He's probably quicker release. I'd say Hank has a stronger arm, maybe. Whereas Heck gets rid of it faster. So it's. But neither one of them are bad at anything, right? So it's a very close battle. It's hard to explain. Like they are different looking at the two, but they're running the same offense, they're executing the same way. They're throwing the balls to the same spots, their drops are the same. Hank's taller and Heck's shorter. That's about it. Other than that, for me, it's which one gets us down the field. And that's what they know, and that's why we're finally getting to move the ball. So instead of a 7-on-7 or a team rep where everything's scripted and we never move the ball, now we're starting to see first, second, third down, 3rd and 1, and then we got first, second, 3rd and 10, and you gotta make checks, you gotta adjust protections, and so I think we're starting to get to the nitty gritty of figuring out which one can pull away, because right now they're just competing. It's been fun to watch.
The thing you can't necessarily, sorry, Jack. The thing you can't necessarily measure is the thing KF has often referenced is just who's the leader of men who can rally their guys. And thank you for answering your fourth set of quarterback questions.
Yeah.
How often is that in your head? I mean, you got to obviously know foot placement and accuracy, but how often is the leadership? How do you measure that? Is there a way to measure that?
No, I think it stands out when one is and one isn't. Right, like one guy's an ultimate leader and the other guy's kind of a quiet guy, and neither one of them are bad. I think they're different style of leaders, but they're both on our leadership group, voted on by the players, so I think that's when it stands out, is when one is dramatically different than the other, but they know they're competing. They've been great. They're both good leaders, so I don't think in this one that will be a factor, But I do understand, like, if you have one guy who's a mute and doesn't lead the group and one guy who's a great leader, that could be part of that competition, but I don't think that's anything here.
Can you expand on that? Like you said, they lead differently. Neither one is like mute, you said?
No, I think they're differently. I think, the one that gets more emotional, Heck's more emotional, and that doesn't mean Hank's not. Hank's he's always doing the right thing, and he's a finishes every sprint first. Heck doesn't finish he tries. He's just not, first. Where Hank can run a little bit. So can Heck, different style, but they both do everything. They're both working hard in the weight room and showing up on time, and got voted on by their peers to get it. But there's a lot of different types, and I was more of a emotional, up and down guy myself, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing the right thing and leading the group and you're really making the people around you better, and that's what I think they both do. And we got a lot of those on this team, which is huge. We got some veteran leadership at the O-line. And I look on the other side and see Montgomery and Lutmer, and the leadership has been really fun to watch them lead the team.
So we get to see, this is the only chance we get to see them tomorrow, fans too, quarterbacks. So what context should we have when we watch? Because we're all going to evaluate.
You're going to make a lot of decisions.
Fans are going to fans are going to pick a favorite car.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
So what context do they need to know? Do we need to know going into this practice?
The funny thing is, I want them to be efficient.
Yeah.
Right, and that's different on every play. There was a couple plays today that were incomplete that were great plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, Hank dropped back on one play I'm thinking about, and came up the field. We couldn't get the bender in there. He stepped up to take the back. The linebacker took the back, and he ran for like 4 yards. Mm-hmm. It was a great play. I mean, there was a lot of decisions he made on that play. He didn't sit back there and take a sack. He got out of the pocket, used his legs, got 4. But I don't think anyone in the stands will like that tomorrow. They'll be like, he only gained 4 yards. Like, well, there's nothing else. He could have thrown a pick there, or got sacked. Instead, we gained 4 yards, right?
Yeah.
And then there's times you throw into coverage, and I'm about to lose my mind, and the ball gets tapped around, a guy makes a catch, and you're like, that's a terrible decision, So that's the part that people won't see. Yeah. I just want them to be efficient and make good decisions, right? Mm-hmm. And if they do, our chances of moving the ball will be good. I don't care if it's 2s-on-2s, 1s-on-1s. You know, we've been pretty much 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s thus far. So obviously, whoever's with the 1s, you know, it's great to have the 1 people around you, but you're also going against the 1 defense. You know, and if you have the 2s around you, you might not have as much time. You might not have quite the firepower, but you're also going against the 2 defense. So tomorrow you'll see them with both, you know, 1s and 2s. And whatever drill we're doing, it'll be opposite of the last time. You know, this will be our second 2-minute drill. So I think Heck was with the 1s. So tomorrow Hank will be with 1s and 2-minute drill. It's just going to keep flipping. You know what I mean? So because we'll get all the film and try to make a good decision in totality. But I want to see him move the ball down the field and make good decisions. Sometimes the fans don't see it. The checking down to the back might be the greatest decision ever, you know?
Sure.
And sometimes if we get the look to take a shot and we're checking down to the back, I'm going to be losing my mind. It could be a completed to the back. Happened the other day where we should have taken the shot and we checked it down. And so that's kind of what we're all working through together, and it's been fun.
What's this period been like for you? House fire, everything like that? Like,
it's been interesting.
Talking through, like, what you've been dealing with?
Yeah, it's been, so we are, you know, everyone's good, everyone's healthy, that's all that really matters, the rest of the stuff. So we are in a house. It's furnished. The people that we rented from are unbelievable.
That's awesome.
We are in the middle of insurance claim hell, you know, but the insurance people are being great. There's just no easy way through it, right? You gotta, I don't know when they're knocking it down and they're taking all your stuff and throwing it away. And so it's a whole thing, you know, but football has been the greatest release. I mean, just getting here and getting into hanging out with, the thing about coaching college and really the pros, like hanging in the room with 18 to 22-year-old guys, it's fun. Like they're funny, they're getting on each other and making jokes. And so it's been good to be able to just jump into this. And, but yeah, there's a lot of new, you know, everything's, you know, he said we had to wear a polo today. I'm like, do I have a polo? I was like, oh, they'll give me one, right? I mean, it's been very good because everything is given to you here, right? Like, I don't need to worry about anything. But like, I wear everything that they give me because we really don't have much else. You know, we're just putting that all together. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been different, but our guys have kept a good attitude, and my wife is a saint, and obviously the community and everyone around here has just been really helpful.
It's good to hear.
So it's been good. It's as good as it can be in this situation. You know,
even though you guys lost Weege last year, does it feel like collectively maybe you have a little bit more speed to work with overall?
Total speed, yeah. I mean, I said, did you watch Weege yesterday?
Jeez.
I led off my quarterback meeting saying, guys, on that football field out there at Iowa, in Kinnick Stadium, have you ever seen Weege get caught? And they're like, no. I'm like, he got caught last night.
I thought the same thing, yeah.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
And he was moving,
Yep.
you know, and so it's a whole new level. So I was so excited to watch him make some plays last night and catch a touchdown and return punts and kicks and do everything that he needs to do to make that team. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know by hand clock time. I think as a group, the receiving core, you know, is faster probably. A lot of it comes down to just route running. You know, that he ran mini last night on that dig route, you know, and he doubled up on top. The guy fell down, came out of it, and, you know, was accelerated, created separation, and then caught it. Got caught. I can't wait to talk to him. But he did a great job running that route. So I do think we've definitely added from our young players that have gotten better, or our veterans that are continuing to get better, and then the young guys we brought in. Like, I think our route running is better than it's been in a long time. You know, and it has to be in man coverage. You got to go win, because eventually, if you can run the ball, people got to load the box. If they load the box, they're going to play man. And can you win that? You know, and that's going to be a challenge for all of us. And then I got to get those guys that can do it and put them in those situations.
And Kirk said at Big Ten Media Days that hype trains scare him. And then the very next thing out of his mouth was he put Tony Diaz in the same conversation with a couple of Hall of Famers. Does that make you nervous? Like all the, I mean, obviously there's a lot of like the social media teams doing their part in promoting Diaz, and I get that's part of the game, but like, does that make you nervous a little bit as the offensive coordinator?
No, I think we have a ton of depth in the room right now, and I think he has the ability to make some big plays. You know, and he's made tons in games. I don't know how many catches he had last year. You guys probably know that better than me, but I think it was like 68 or 70 catches. So he has some experience doing it, you know. But he's got to go out there and do it,
right?
You know, and he's got to stay healthy, you know, because he's been banged up here and again. So, you know, if he's able to do, you know, some of the stuff he's done in practice on the game field, there's been a ton of guys in the years that look great in practice and then get out there and it's a different ball game. So he's going to have to make that transition, make some plays. And I don't think you guys ever saw him in the spring, did you? He was hurt. He was hurt by the time. So he'll play tomorrow. So you guys will get to see him. But he's been doing a good job. Him and Evans have been doing a good job as far as the new guys.
Yeah.
And just watching the way Reese and Dayton and Bowie and KJ have been running routes. Have been so we have a whole group. I think they're all making each other better. And the competition is always a healthy thing. Competition in every room we have, I'm excited about. From the O line to the running backs to the quarterbacks to the tight ends to the wideouts. It's just pushing everyone to compete. And I always say, like, the reason they never let you race in the 40-yard dash because you'll run faster. That's why they make you run it by yourself. But we're racing in a lot of rooms right now. And I think it's hopefully sharpening the learning curve, and it's been fun to watch them compete. It's a good group.
DJ Vonnegut obviously had a big end of the year last year, comes in with a lot of hype this year. I guess, how have you seen him kind of handle that and I guess kind of, continue to get better throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I think a couple things. It's twofold. One, he had a great offseason. He went into Ray in the weight room and got bigger and stronger and actually got faster, believe it or not, because he was pretty fast before. But by the watch, he's faster now. So and then I've tried to continue to find ways to use him, which we started doing towards the end of the year anyway. I think it was like Rutgers was the first time I threw him a screen and tried to get him in space to see what he could do, and he did it on the field on a game day, and then we just started using him more and more and more. And so I've just been studying, trying to find more ways to use him, and it's been fun. We put some new plays in and different sets to try to use him in different ways, and so he just continues to work. We try to never let him. It's one thing I'm very impressed with about having a system like this, like Shane, because there's so much to give them. They're never going to get bored because I can throw more on them. I got tons more to put on. Like, hey, well, if you're good with this, then here, let's put these 3 plays in. And then, oh, you're good with that. I got 500 more to put in if you want. So just always challenging them, and I think this group enjoys that. And so we've been adding and tweaking and new motions and new formations and just trying to find ways to get him matched up. And he's been responding and making plays and helping the young guys around him. He's already taken a leadership role for a young guy, which is unique. But he's been fun to coach.
Yeah, what's he kind of like? Off the field, maybe in some of those meeting rooms. You mentioned he's kind of becoming more of a leader now.
Yeah, with his peers, he doesn't talk much still to me. I try to get him to talk a little bit more. I think he's definitely vocal with his buddies because they always have funny stories about what he said. I'm like, he said that? Like, I can't get him. But he's out there playing ball. You know what I mean? Former quarterback. From high school, and he understands coverage and he understands pass game. Like, the things he sees is pretty unique, and that helps you play that position, And so it's I think those are the things that for him I think he loves being out there more than anything. Like, he could practice for 4 hours and be totally fine just because he's out there playing ball. Like, it's still a game day. We're all playing. I coach kids games. It's the best job ever. And the guys that keep that mindset, that are really talented, that they know they're playing a game and having fun doing it. Like Kittle, how do you watch Kittle play without that guy's having fun, right? And DJ's the same way as far as how much he enjoys just being out there and working with the guys.
How are Evan James and Tony Diaz weight-wise right now? You know where they're at?
I know they're up 20 pounds since they got here, right? They showed up in January, and I think Evan was like in the high 140s or low 150s, and now he's like 170s.
Yeah.
I think Tony was like in the high 150s or low 160s. He's like high 180s or 170s now. Like that, it's like, hey, meet Ray, Ray, meet the new guys, and it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about I'm not saying anything negative about the 2 schools that came from the strength program, because as freshmen, you're really not into it yet anyway. But they came into the Iowa strength program, and they're eating and they're lifting and watching their weight. And it's not going to stop. Like, in the next couple of years, I mean, they're going to be 185, 190 pounds. I don't think they'll be that this year. But where they were, as far as just being healthy and being able to take hits, they both put on 20 pounds in 8 months since they got here. So it's a good start. You couldn't really do any more than that in a good weight way, right. And so we got them to the best place they can be for this season. And in future seasons, I can only assume they're just going to get bigger and bigger,
What are you hoping to see from them at Kids Day tomorrow?
Oh, it'll be fun. It's just a new environment, right? So there'll be people in the stands. We're going to run the same place we've been running for the first week and a half, But I just want to see how they handle the different atmosphere, right? We're going to play on Friday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock, 5, whatever they tell us to play, and you got to be ready as a quarterback. So it'll be something different. They're going to go against the same defense they've been facing, so that should make them comfortable. And I just want to go out there next game, be efficient, don't turn the ball over, create explosives. So it'll be fun tomorrow because they've been switching literally every drill, from one drill to the next. So they've had the same amount of reps with the ones and the twos, and face the one defense, face the two defense. So it's been a great battle, and so tomorrow's just one step of this thing that'll take a bit to play out.
Would you consider using two?
Maybe. I know Coach has in the past. We did my first year here, there was a time that Sully was playing so well that I think it was Northwestern, we decided to give him a shot other than drive 3 or drive 4. Something that Coach had done previously with Brad Banks. I don't know what year that was. So I don't know. That's a good question. If we did, we would have it played out. It would be layered, like this is what we're doing. Nothing worse than a quarterback that's playing looking over his shoulder, and then whoever goes out there and plays. It's like when you have a group of backs, right? If you're ever going to try that, they play and whoever has the hot hand plays down the stretch. But I think early on, if we were able to do that, it would be scripted. They would know exactly when they're going in and not be afraid, because you got to play loose, So, but I don't know. We haven't even talked about that yet. We're letting it play out, and then we're gonna have to make those decisions.
What do you make of this tight end? One that's kind of growing a little bit on you, and that's in a really good way too.
Yeah, it's not a shock that Iowa has an unbelievable tight end, right? But this group is special. I think that we have veteran leadership, we have young talent, and so we've been doing a lot of studying more ways to get them the ball with a guy like DJ. And so they've been really good. We've been moving around. They've been doing good things, and just got to find ways to get them the ball. And they've really been doing a good job at the line of scrimmage. I have to tell you that. That's one thing that people kind of lose sight of sometimes when you look at catches, you look at all the stuff DJ did, is how he blocks. He does a great job in the run game, and that's what makes the tight end a tight end. The guy that'll go in there and can control the line of scrimmage. But if we can get a matchup on the right guy, he can be a threat, and that's what he is. And getting Addy back is huge, just like having a coach out there. And obviously Ort's getting better, and Thomas Meyer. So it's a fun group to coach. They're deep, so we're going to try to use them a lot of different ways.
Tim, the offensive line, the quality of depth between your first year here to now, it's pretty mind-boggling.
Yes.
I know you guys are still trying to figure out who your best overall 5 are. We know Cade's been working at center a little bit, working at guard. What's the battle of the center looking like? And I know how important center is, especially. When do you really want to have your best 5 nailed down and really make, whether it be Cale Winter, Michael, or obviously Cade at center?
Yeah, 3, right? Talking about 3 different guys, which is, it can be difficult for the quarterback to have different, centers, but it's the recruiting and the retention and the growth that George and Coach, I haven't been here for the whole time that a lot of these guys are recruited, but it's unbelievable. So as we get guys trying to find the right Rubik's Cube, right pieces, where do you put them? And so I would say in the next week or 2, probably week before game day, in the meantime, we literally switch it every day. When we go out there, I don't know who's playing what. I just know we're going to have 5 Iowa football offensive linemen out there, which is a pretty good gig.